Everybody, it's me, the Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. It's Monday night, and this is Twisted Stitches, and it is going to be one heck of a night here because we have got an amazing show lined up for everyone. We've been planning for this for weeks, and the garments are in. You've had a sneak peek here and there of things, and now it's finally happening. So welcome, everyone. We're in store for a great show. Do we have some folks with us yet, Paul? I just want to be sure that we have where folks are logging in before we get started.
All right, we've got Sarah Miller says good evening, and Gina Bates is in the house.
Whoa, Gina, on time.
Hi, this will be great, she says. And all the way from Eureka, California, it's Rita Johnson Cotterman. Hello, I'm watching from Boise, Idaho this time.
Whoa,
oh,
you're all over
wow,
the country.
Threw me off. Lois Donardo Goldner, good evening. Parissa Javidi, waving. New name. Donna Nahajlo. Hello, everyone. Kathy Stoddard.
Welcome to our new person there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Mary Brinkman says hello. Let's see. Kathy Stoddard says hi from Dorothy Land. Lorraine Schiller. Hello from New York. Nitty Gritty Heidi. Nitty Gritty Girl Heidi. Yes. All the Noro.
Yes. Wow.
We have a lot.
Well, we know there are going to be lots of folks on the show. We do our best to acknowledge everyone who's here. We are so grateful that you are tuning in with us tonight. And we are going to ask you to be free with your comments. We will get to them as we can. And we've got some amazing guests. So let's start off our night.
Oh, I have to tell them one thing.
Okay, tell them one thing.
Right. I know you guys are going to be disappointed, but the camera guy, he's going to have to cut back on the jokes tonight because we've got some very important people here, and we want to hear what these designers have to say.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see how long that lasts for. I'm probably thinking not very long. So speaking of, wait, I just want to show you. Guess what? Oh, hi. I didn't know you were coming with me. So the tasting kits, for those of you who have had your previews, we had a fun time. I'm so glad I got to chat with so many of you. These garments have to go back tomorrow. So if you have not scheduled your preview, then we'll schedule that for November when I have the garments back again for all the fiber festivals and the retreat. But the tasting kits, the magazines are finally here, not here in my house. They should be here tomorrow, and we'll be able to get these out before Wednesday or by Wednesday. So tasting kits will be on the way to you soon. So we are so thrilled to have with us such wonderful folks to represent some of these designs from Noro Knitting Magazine. Carla Scott is with us, executive editor. We have Laura Zukaite, Deborah Newton, and Jacob Seifert. So thank you so much to all of you for being here and spending your Monday night with us. It's really a pleasure to have you. So Carla, let's start with you. We're going to be talking with all the designers, and you can see I'm wearing one of the designs because it's one of my favorites. Every time we had a preview, I put this one on because I love the way it fits. And so Laura will be talking about this in just a moment. But Carla, so tell us all about this wonderful magazine.
Okay, I've been doing Noro Magazine for quite a few years now, and it's always so exciting. I love the Noro yarns, the colors, and so we like to, we're trying some new things. So every issue now we're having a beginner project at the beginning, and really good instructions, and it's a great teaching tool. So if you have a store, it's great to teach people how to knit, and they're really fun projects. So we're trying to do that. We're doing that every single issue. With some of the trends that are on here for the fall, vests are a really big thing, and you're wearing kind of a vest, Paulette, right. And it's great for layering. It's great. They're seasonless. It's white shirts. We have the whole vest story. It's all under on top of white shirts, which is also a very big trend. We have a story called Modern Country, which is kind of like farmhouse, very hygge, very cozy knits to wear by the fireside, neutral colors, beautiful yarns, beautiful stitches. Ruffles are big in fashion, and we have a couple of, at least one project that has ruffles. And we have men's in Williamsburg. And so, you know, there really is not a lot of men. There are not a lot of men's sweaters out there, some good sweater designs. So we've done some men's garments, hats and scarves and a sweater. And at the very end, we have the Starry Nights, which I'll talk about when we get to that. So then there's some new yarns from Noro. There are 3 new yarns, and one of them, Deborah Newton's design is in one of them. But Paulette, you want to talk a little bit about the 3 new Noro yarns?
Yes. So the 3 yarns, and we've talked a little bit about them on the show, but I'm sure we've got some new folks. Hanui is the one that Carla's just talking about now. That's Deborah Newton's design. And these are sheep out in New Zealand, and they're specifically bred for this yarn, and they're just beautiful. The colors are all natural. There's nothing there aren't any colors in the dyes. They're all beautiful. They remind me of that fireside type of knitting. The yoke sweaters and things like that, and they're cozy, and there's something really soft and luscious about Hanui when you touch it. Even putting some of the sample kits together, but then also the finished fabric is really soft and snuggly when you wear it. The other is Madara. Madara is a tweedy type of a lot of flex in there. It's a wool, a little bit of Angora, and some wool, silk, and Angora, I believe, is the fiber content on that one. We've got some really fun projects in that. And then the last one is Viola. Viola is, we're going to talk about Viola in a little while, but this is a great sample of that's another 100% wool that is a medium to bulky weight. So all the new yarns are heavier weights. They're that medium to bulky weight and very versatile. So, and the colors are so typically Noro, just absolutely beautiful.
Yes, they are. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our 3 designers and have them talk about their designs. And first up is going to be Laura Zukaite. Now, Laura, I seem to remember we had a contest, a design contest in Vogue Knitting many years ago, and you were the winner, yes? On that very first design contest. You can unmute now, Laura.
Yes, it was an amazing experience, actually. The entire contest and working with mohair. It was a mohair South Africa competition. Then I got to go to South Africa to experience the entire mohair industry.
Wow.
It was quite amazing.
Yes, and she's been designing for us ever since, and she has her son there, if you want to introduce him.
This is Gabriel. He really likes elephants, or he has his elephant friend that he doesn't let go. And he watches me knit all the time and is almost ready to go after yarn.
Good.
So,
all right. So you want to start talking about the one design that Paulette is wearing?
Yes, I also love this design. For myself. I love vests, and thank goodness they're trending. This one is quite tricky to not to knit, but there is the color stripe matching situation. So when it's knit in a brioche pattern on a loose gauge, so on a thicker needle. But when you reach the V-neck, you really have to play around with your yarn balls and pull out some colors and see if they match, at least at the beginning, because every ball is a surprise, really, even in this neutral colorway. So I had to unravel a couple balls to just see where the colors come together. Uh-huh. And the same with the back. You want to start kind of on the same note of the stripe, and then wherever the ball takes you.
Right. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to take this one off so I don't get too warm. Oh, and this is knitted in the magazine. This is knitted with Okunoshima.
Okunoshima, right?
This is a beautiful, beautiful. It's so soft. It must have been gorgeous. Oh, hi, little guy. Okay, so, and then we have the brioche.
No, she's got it's a scarf and a hat. It's
the pom-poms.
With the big pom-poms. That's
this is it.
Yes, and these guys are really fun, quick, easy to knit. Again, with the scarf, you cannot go wrong wherever you start and wherever you end with your color. He knows.
Let me get my head. I have such a little head.
And with the hat, really, you also can play with where you want the color to start. If you want more blue, start with the blue. If pink looks better on you, start with the pink. And the pom-poms are really just a fun addition. I think you can. There could be ways of doing it where you can only pick out the pink colors or only the blue. I added everything, but you can kind of create your own colorway from the Noro ball.
Right.
And I also wanted to say brioche is really hot now. Everyone's knitting brioche, and if you've never done it before, it can be intimidating, but once you get the hang of it, it's really fun.
And I think this is a good project to start working on brioche if you've never done it, because it's so quick and easy. And the color does it for you. You don't need to work with two colors.
And then how fun it is to see how the pom-poms come out.
Oh, I love the pom-poms at the end. They're just such fun.
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Laura.
Thank you. We will run off because the little one is asking to play.
Yes.
Well, I can't thank you enough. I really do appreciate your taking your time and spending it with us.
Thank you, guys, and enjoy the evening.
I'll see you soon. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Who's next? What do you got next?
Oh, we have. Well, why don't we go to Deborah Newton?
Deborah Newton. Okay.
Try on that sweater right back there, the pretty yoke sweater. So we're gonna grab your Brioche. Yes.
Right.
And the one this is knitted with the Hanui.
Yes. So Deborah and I have been in the industry together, haven't we, Deborah? We started at the same time, as children. And she's been a good friend and a fantastic, fabulous designer, teacher, artist, amazing. So take it away.
Carla and I always say Carla taught me everything I know, because we started working together, and she was such a fantastic person for the technical aspect of things, and I was just learning all of that. So we made a great collaboration in the beginning, and it goes on, huh, Carla?
Yes, it sure does. And I love this sweater. This is great.
Isn't it great?
It's our professional model, Pamela
Pam.
Rose Atkins.
Pamela, it looks lovely on you.
Thank you.
And it was it's a very fun sweater to knit. I had fun with this yarn because it's so soft and so enjoyable to knit. And I wanted to tweak the whole idea of the traditional Icelandic sweater. So I put a little detail on the sleeve. The ribbing's a little bit longer than usual. And I added a little detail above that ribbing. And I think it gives the sweater a little more of an upbeat, modern look. And the yoke is a lot of fun because there's not much shaping for a long stretch. I'm big. Whenever I teach, I always say that people need to understand that the sweater has to fit you. It has to be large enough where you are. The sweater has to match you. And these yoke sweaters, it's always good to measure around your shoulders first, and then compare your measurement to the measurement of the schematic drawing in the garment. But the fun thing about this sweater was that I don't know if you can notice, there's a kind of a line where the two triangles meet, and there's no shaping until you get to that second triangle area. So it's pretty easy knitting and enjoyable, and then it goes very quickly once you get to the shaping section. So I hope everybody enjoys making it. I made it, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, it's really beautiful. It's absolutely
It's
stunning.
very soft.
Isn't it nice and soft? That yarn is definitely something that you want to. Oh, and by the way, with all the new yarns, all the yarns are on the website. We put up a couple of kits, but there are so many designs, and you're going to be getting your magazines anyway. So the best thing to do is, if you don't see a kit, just go to the actual yarn page where you'll find, if you just put in Hanui, you'll find the yarns, and you can order however many skeins you need. Keep in mind that all the 3 new yarns are all on pre-order, and they are expected in end of September, early October. And so my suggestion is that you get in the queue for these, because once the orders come in, once the yarn comes in and there are orders for them, those orders are going to go out, and then we're going to have to wait again. So if there's something that you see that you really love, please don't hesitate to put it on pre-order now, and we'll get it out to you just as soon as it comes in.
Paulette, one thing I wanted to mention about that sweater was that it would be equally interesting if the colors were flipped, so that you'd have a kind of a beige main color with the chocolate in the yoke, and that's something for your customers to think about. Which do they want as their main color? Because there are several colors, aren't there, Carla, in the Hanui?
Yes.
Yeah, would you give me the Hanui? I have the Hanui.
That's a great point, Deborah.
Yeah, because I kind of pondered which one would be the best one, but there's good contrast with most of the colors, so it would be fun to do it in a slightly off-key way. I actually thought about doing it with the beigey one and the very dark, which would be very pretty too.
Right.
But,
Yeah, they're very pretty, and so you can see, and they're ample ball. The sizes are very very ample on these.
Super great yardage. Yes.
Yeah. So also, speaking of sizes, Carla, one of the things that I noticed was that many of the patterns are all size inclusive. They start with extra small and go up to, some of them go up to 5X.
We try to get 9 sizes in there. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it, and it's.
Well, I'm sure the customers are going to be very appreciative of that.
Yes.
Carl, are you familiar? How familiar are you with the Noro app?
Myself, I'm not that familiar with it.
Okay.
I don't think I have it, so I should get it.
Well, actually, the reason I'm asking is because one of the things that I've been encouraging, even though I love my print, I will never give up print. I just think for me, it's just, as long as it's here, I'm going to use it, whether it's books, magazines, patterns, whatever. I love it. But one of the ways that you can really right now get a great look before your magazine arrives is to download that Noro app. And then you can go, and for 99 cents, you can open the whole every magazine for a month. Yeah. And take a look at those patterns. So if there's a pattern or a sweater or a scarf, whatever that you see tonight on the show, you can go to the app if you don't have your magazine yet, and get an idea of how many balls you'll need, the different size ranges and measurements, etc. So just something to help along in the meantime while we're getting these magazines out to you.
Right. Great idea. Yeah.
Okay. So what do we have next?
Jacob.
Tell us a little bit about Jacob.
Hey, Jacob. How are you? You can unmute. Jacob, I've worked with Jacob, about how long have you been with Soho Publishing?
I've been there 6 years now.
6 years? Oh my goodness. I was going to say 5. Wow. So yes, I've been working with him for 6 years at Soho Publishing, and he's in the book department, and he is an incredibly he's an amazing knitter, so meticulous. He's also very good at, when he reads patterns, he finds these things and asks questions like, can we say it this way? Can we say it better? And you just you're really into knitting, and just an amazing knitter. And you like to use little needles too, small needles, which I find interesting. And I think that you were asked to do this, what do you call it? Like do you have the sample of his design, his brioche? It was also
Yes.
an brioche.
This one here.
I used to call them dickies when I was growing up. No, it's a dickie. It's
This one.
It's like
This
a neck warmer. Yes.
Yeah, they call them neck warmers now. Huh?
Now. So you were asked to design something, and true to Jacob, you don't just do something simple.
Yep. In brioche.
It's brioche. So, you want to
Yeah.
chat about
so,
that?
Yeah, so I guess Carla and I did not enter the industry at the same time, but like Deborah, I can say that Carla's taught me pretty much everything I know, because before I was working in a different area of publishing. So I had been a knitter, and then I applied for the job just because it was working on knitting books. So I'm like, perfect. And then Carla has taught me a ton. So she's been very patient. So, and actually, my love for brioche starts with my current job. Because the first time I was ever exposed to brioche, I was researching Soho Publishing, and I came across Knitting Fresh Brioche by Nancy Marchand. If you're familiar with that book, and Nancy Marchand is a giant in the industry. But so yeah, ever since then I've really loved brioche, and I was asked to create an accessory with one ball of yarn. So this uses one ball of Ito. And what I did, I was happy to hear that Laura was also playing with the colors of the Noro yarn, because I felt like I was kind of cheating. But I'm like, well, if Laura Zukaite does it, it's okay if I do it as well. So what I did to help with some color contrast, just because I love, I myself, I wear grayscale and black all the time, but when I knit, I love color. So I wanted to have as much like color interacting with each other at the same time. And the great thing about brioche is you have those two layers. So if you have contrasting colors, you really get a lot going on. So what I did, I just took the ball of Ito and I wound it into two separate balls. And then I worked with the two separate balls, trying to stagger the color repeat.
Ah, okay.
So it is one ball of Ito divided into two balls of yarn that you work from. And it's pretty simple. You just have a few increases and decreases. I actually simplified the decreases. Nancy Marchand has like these perfect increases and decreases that are a bit more complicated to work. Mine are literally just like knit one, yarn over, knit one into the same stitch. So a very simple increase. And the decreases, instead of moving stitches, you literally just like knit three together or whatever. So it is a simpler pattern. You knit the front the same way as you knit the back, and there's a little bit of shape, like a V shaping, and then you put them together, and then you knit the collar, the turtleneck, and the round.
Okay.
And if you have extra yarn, you can keep going, make it long enough to fold over. It depends however long you want it. There should be some yarn left over for you to make the neck longer if you want.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And so if anyone has any questions as we go along, please feel free to put them in the chat. Our designers and Carla are both here to answer any questions that you have as we go through. And Jacob, you had another one, didn't you?
No.
No?
No, that was it. We're all done nope. Okay. That was it. Yep.
Oh, okay. I see it. All righty. Good. Good. I just want to make sure that I'm not slighting anyone at all.
Nope. You're all set. We're good.
All right.
Jacob, Deborah, you're welcome to stay on, and if you want to, interject anything while we're talking, that's perfectly fine. So, Paulette, should we just start from the beginning?
Let's go for it. Do we have any comments before we get started, Penny?
Oh, there were lots of comments, but no questions.
Okay.
Okay.
there's so many comments that we couldn't get
Okay,
to them.
that's
But we'll
fine.
answer. You'll
All
answer
right.
them afterwards.
So let's talk about this great magazine.
Yeah, so Noro, there's the cover. My friend Rosemary Drysdale and Deborah's friend too designed the cover of with this lovely bobble cardigan. But we'll get to that on the inside. So I just wanted. I don't think you have these wristers, which were the I don't know how well you can see them. This is the beginner project, which is simply you just make a square, fold it in half. And then you sew partly here and partly here. It's super, super easy. And you have two really fun wristers.
Oh, is that interesting?
Ellen Torque wants to know, how heavy is Ito?
Ito is an Aran weight
Yeah.
bordering on bulky. It's an Aran weight.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our beginner project. Super easy, super fun.
You know, Carla, just something I'd like to say.
Yes.
Jacob and Laura are much more meticulous than I am.
Well, me too. I agree.
When I work with Noro, I just like to see the yarn, and whatever the yarn does has a certain personality. So I think the listeners and the viewers should realize that don't be fearful of a color change yarn. Jacob will tell you in his pattern how to get the specific effect. But when you buy a color yarn, it's there for you to have it reveal itself to you. And no one should be intimidated by that. You know, very often, the last thing I did with Noro in the last issue, Carla, was the one, it was a big poncho-y type sweater with a V-neck. And I pondered whether I should make that symmetrical at the V-neck. And then I said, oh, you know what? The yarn will know what to do. So if you want the exact effect, as with Jacob's neck warmer, you'll want to follow his directions for color changes. But then if you want to just be loosey-goosey and have a good time and just let the yarn reveal itself, that's just great. There are no rules that say you can't do that. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thanks, Deborah. That's perfect. That's great advice. Yep.
And that's part of the beauty of Noro.
Yes.
You know, the fact that the color changes are there and they do kind of reveal themselves as you go through.
Yeah.
And Deborah, you said it in a very polite way, meticulous and not anal or control freak, which might be more accurate. But
No, that's so funny, Jacob, because the thing is, we all have our places where we really want it to be just right. But for me, with color yarns like this, I just like to let the yarn do it. And somehow it lets that anal side of me, which you understand, let go and just really appreciate those color changes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's. I in my mind, there's nothing wrong. There's no right or wrong in knitting. You know, you do what you want to do. So,
right.
Okay, so the first story is called The Vest, which, as I said, is a big trend. And you have the curry-on ribbed vest. Yes, lovely. Yes.
Yes.
Sandy Prosser did this design, and it's done in a twisted rib where you knit through the back loop, and I'm not sure if you purl through the back loop as well, but this gives a really nice definition to the stitches. And if you look, what's interesting at the very bottom, there's a side slit at the bottom of the vest, and it's kind of angled. You can scroll if you pull down to the bottom. You see that lovely slit and that nice full fashioning shaping along there. So it just gives it that extra little touch. Look at that, lovely, lovely. And I just love that twisted rib and how much it shows up those stitches. Now you see that doesn't match at the underarm. There the colors did not match.
Right.
And that's totally fine. And it looks great. And those colors are so vibrant. I love that.
Yeah. Sometimes with Noro reminds me of with linen. If you can't deal with the wrinkle, you know it's not for you. You know, and with Noro, it doesn't always have to match.
Exactly. Yes.
Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. And so this is really very, very pretty.
Yes. Next is a little short cropped vest, and that yarn is in Bachi, yes. This was designed by Annabelle Spear, the daughter of the woman who designed the cover sweater. And she's a young person with just had another baby, and so the crop vest is really, a little more for the younger crowd, I think. But it's a nice easy sweater, and with 2 children, she didn't have a lot of time to knit, so she likes to knit things that are quick and easy. And it's a just a V-neck with some rib along the edges. And obviously, if you really like it, but you don't like that, I can't wear crop sweaters. I don't know about
my crop sweater days are over.
Yeah, so you can always make it longer. Just remember, if you do adjust the pattern to adjust the yarn amount as well. So
yeah,
nice, fun, quick, easy vest. And we've already seen Laura Zukaite's vest. So let's go on to the next one called Bartlett. And that was designed by Jean Chin. She's also a phenomenal designer. She's one of the meticulous. She would be the one to make sure that the V-neck matches. Because and it's in that Trinity stitch, which is also called lovely. It's also called Blackberry and a few other names for it, but it's where you knit 3 stitches into one and then you decrease 3 stitches. It's a fun stitch. That nice deep V-neck, and it's got lots of texture, and really not that hard to do. Very in style. And it's nice to wear these with the white blouses. As I said, they have them hanging out, or they have the nice, this is lower in the back than the front, that side split. So lovely. Looks really nice.
Yeah.
So that's a big story. And the other thing, vests are good for if it's going to be your first project. You don't have to worry about sleeves. So, that little crop vest is a really good first project sweater, because a lot of people won't try sweaters. They want to just do scarves, something really easy. So that's really good, easy, not too much finishing.
And Carla, I might mention to those beginners who are looking to make a really sweet vest like that, that's simple, make sure that the measurement that you choose is a few inches larger than your measurement is. And that way you can be sure that the sweater will be satisfying in the end. Always have a little bit of extra ease.
Exactly. Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Excellent.
Next, we're moving on to Modern Country. This is the biggest story, and it's really very kind of warm and cozy. This one is the cardigan called Hazelnut, and it's just a basic everyday sweater. I love this silhouette. It's, I would have 3 or 4 of these in my wardrobe.
Yeah.
Basic stockinette, and the patch pockets. So if you don't really want the pockets, I love pockets personally, but if you don't want them, you don't have to put them on. But this yarn is beautiful. Let's see, what yarn is this? I can't.
Sweeto. Yeah, this is Sweeto.
Sweeto, right?
Yeah.
So,
and yes, the colors in Sweeto are gorgeous.
Yep. Yeah, it looks really nice, and nice big buttons, and just cozy, easy to make.
Yeah.
And then Deborah's we've talked about, which Deborah, that I don't really usually like yoke sweaters fit, but this one I tried it on and it fits really nicely. So you've got that yoke sweater down just perfectly. Then we have a pair of cozy socks. Lori Steinberg did this for us. They're just and so they're meant to be worn at home when you come home from a long day in the winter. You want to just go on the couch and go in front of the fire, or if you don't have a fireplace, I don't know, your heater in the city. But they're in that. Which yarn is this?
This is Okunoshima.
Okunoshima. So it's nice, and he's knitted a little bit looser too, so it's nice and soft and beautiful. Fun to wear.
I can't wait to get those on my needle.
Basic soft
New England winters.
Yep. So, and you can make them longer if you want.
Yep.
Okay, then we come to the cover sweater, and Rosemary Drysdale, as I mentioned, designed this sweater, and I love this color. Pastels are really big for the fall, but what she's done in, I'm actually not a fan of baubles, but I like these because they're not too big and they just make such a lovely texture. So she starts at the bottom, at the lower edge of the front, and you start with one, and then she keeps adding them gradually. Every 6th row or something, she adds another one. So they're all in line, and they just keep going until you get a whole line of them. And it's really fun to do that, and that this color. I don't know if this is a new color or not, but it's just, I think, a stunning color.
So this one is knitted with viola. This is one of the new yarns.
That's right, one of the new yarns. Yes.
So
and I love knitting with it. She said it's a really lovely yarn.
It is. It's beautiful, and I love the way the bobbles are angled. I just think that it kind of gives the sweater some shaping.
Yes.
With the design.
And the rest of it's stockinette. The back is all stockinette. The sleeves are stockinette, and there are no buttons. It's just a sweater that opens. You don't have to worry. You can add buttons if you want to, but it just didn't seem to need it. So it's just nice striping, and it's a slightly different striping on the back because you're not working the bobbles in there. That's what's so cool about these yarns too, is once you add another element like a bobble or a cable, you're gonna get a different striping effect. So it's really, you never know what you're gonna get. No one's gonna have exactly the same sweater. That's what's also kind of neat.
Right. And the colors in viola range from this pastel to deep jewel tones. There is a beautiful variety in this new yarn. Very, very nice colors. I was very impressed with the colorways.
Yep. Okay, and the next is called Hexad. It's I guess it's kind of a shawl blanket. It's all the hexagons, and it's in. I don't know these yarns offhand by heart.
That's okay. This is Miyabi.
Miyabi. Okay, so this is the hexagons are knit separately, and then in 2 different colors, and then you sew them together. And the way you position them, there's a diagram that shows you how you sew them together. And then a backward single crochet is all around the outside edge. So Melissa did a beautiful job of sewing it, because you want to sew it as neatly as you can. You could also crochet them together. That might be another way to do it. But it's just, I don't know. It's so zen looking. It's so, I don't know. I just love this piece.
Mary Huber has a question.
Uh-huh.
Did I see a scarf with stars in the magazine? I love Van Gogh's Starry Night. Starry Night. Might have to make that.
Yes, we're going to get to the very end. We're going to get to that. I'm excited to talk about that. Yes.
Yep. We will see it.
Yes. Next, do you have the pillow? Do you have the big pillow or not? The crochet?
We do not have the big pillow. We couldn't get it in the box.
Yes, it's very big. Okay, it was a crochet pillow. It was very cool, but we'll move on to the. I was talking about ruffles being, fashionable now. So this is just a simple scarf with a textured. It's a rectangle with a textured stitch. A cool, very simple 2-row textured stitch. And then the ruffles, you have to get a very long circular needle. You might need 2. You pick up all along the 3 sides, 1 long and 2 short sides, all at one time. And then you double the stitches on 1 row and double the stitches. I think you might work a row even and then double them again. So you end up with hundreds and hundreds of stitches at the end. So it might take a while to bind off, but it just makes that really fun ruffle.
Yep.
And just very sweet and nothing. I think it was going to be a longer ruffle and she ran out of yarn and thought it's best to just keep it like that. So I think it's very sweet, which is the tiny ruffle.
And so this is knitted with Madara. Madara is the 3rd new yarn.
Yes. And she did say that, Lori said that was a really nice yarn to work with. She loved it.
Yeah.
lovely color. All right, next up is a crochet design. And
knows how to crochet. I want this.
Noro yarn looks really nice in crochet. And what's cool about this is they're squares that are bobbled squares, and they're all made separately and sewn together. So I had to, it's just a T shape. So you'll see that the squares are just sewn together to make the front, back, and sleeves. There's no half squares. They're just all squares. So I had to figure out how am I going to size this because it's so specific. So I decided to do it by crochet hook size. So I went down a size and up a size. So I've knit 3 or 4, I can't remember how many sizes I did, of those squares to get the actual mesh so I could get the measurements. So it was a really fun square to knit too. And it's a cool crochet bobble. I don't know if I found it really fun. So you make 6, I think, HDC or DC in one, and then you take it off the, I don't know, read it. It's very cool. I'm exactly what I did, but it's really fun and easy. And I know that square is perfect because I crocheted it 3 or 4 times.
That's really, it's very, very attractive.
And also the edging, the collar and the lower edge, it looks in the magazine like it's knit 2 purl 2 rib, but it's actually back and forth in HDC through the back loops. So it looks so much like ribbing, knitted ribbing. And that's what the collar and the lower edge are. So it's a fun one. It's a fun one to do.
That's a really dramatic design. I just think it's so beautiful.
Yeah, Kay Adolphson, she's from Australia. She designed this, and she's an amazing crocheter. And as I said, the Noro yarns really will look nice in crochet. So
Excellent. And that's knitted with Silk Garden Solo.
it's crocheted with
Silk Garden Sock. Is it Silk Garden Sock?
Crochet.
Silk Garden Sock Solo.
Crochet.
Crochet.
crochet. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have another Jeannie Chin design. This was something we needed a shawl, or we needed to use this yarn. There was some reason why we asked her to do this at the last minute. So this is a very, very cool design. It's a triangle shawl where you start with 3 stitches and then you increase on one side and keep the other side straight. And there are 2 different colors. She has a slip stitch pattern. So it alternates a solid color, and then it goes to 2 rows of 2 different colors. So it alternates. So it's all this dark and light and yin and yang, and it's really, really cool. So you just have to keep increasing and pay attention to your rows as you're doing them. But it's I think really pretty and looks great.
I would love to share my thoughts on this because there are so many shawls out there, and so many that we do so many boomerangs and asymmetrical triangles and all those different shapes. Now this is asymmetrical, but the lengths on it are so similar that it wears like a beautiful shawl. No matter how you want to drape it, it's going to look nice on you.
Yes.
If you want to wear it, with your point in the front and wrap it over your shoulders. But I actually took it and created a little shawl collar with it. And and you can belt it. There's just so much you can do with this piece. And this is this yarn is Silk Garden Sock Solo Tweed. There's a lot of words going on there. You can't say that 5 times fast. Please don't do that, Paul.
It's a great color scheme to wear with any color at all. I mean, it'd be great with denim or black or just about anything. Great contrast with red. I love it.
Yeah,
Right.
And
it's really great.
Isn't the tweed a new addition to the Silk Garden?
It is. I think there are 8 different colors, and we just ordered. I just ordered them. They should be here, hopefully by Wednesday. And when I saw this shawl, when this shawl came in with the garments, I said I had not originally gotten the tweed colors, and I said I have to because they're just going to be gorgeous.
Yep.
So that's a favorite of mine. So many of them, but this is a big favorite. Okay, what do we have next?
we're going to, you don't have the garments for the men, so I'm going to skip over to the.
Well, we do. We have a few of the garments for the
You
men.
have some of them? Oh, good. I didn't know you had them.
We don't have all of them, but we have the slouchy hat.
Yes, it's a slouchy hat, and that's such, still a really popular style. Jacob, would you wear that slouchy hat?
I would. I need a hat just because I'm bald and I don't want to get frostbite on my head. So it looks like a good hat to wear.
Okay. Well, it's easy to make. It's in the round. It's in stockinette stitch, and striped. It's super easy to knit, and that's in Curion. Now, Curion, isn't that one of the oldest or the longest? It's been there from the beginning, just about.
It's been around for a long time. Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, Curion.
And we also have this, the man's rib cap.
And that's just a super easy 2x2 rib. I think we call it a watch cap. That's the kind of hat I like to make and I like to wear. So.
And then we have our gentleman here modeling the sweater.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Our special model, Roderick.
So this is in a slip stitch pattern, and it's slip stitch rib, I think. Yeah, that's very cool. It looks really nice.
Yep, I love the neckline on that little crew.
Yep, little crew neck, just a basic man's drop shoulder sweater. Again, women can wear it as well.
Thank you, Rod.
Thank you. Looks really nice.
We've recruited everyone tonight.
Oh, that's great.
Really nice. Is that knitted in Curion as well? Let me see. I need my tag.
I kind of think it's
Curion.
Yep, it is.
Yeah. So that's a real rugged man sweater. Very, very nice.
Yep.
Julie Denny Stark says, "Great job, Roderick."
Okay.
So next, so I guess you didn't have the scarf. That was the only one.
No, we didn't have the scarf.
Okay. Next is a Cornelia Tuttle Hamilton scarf, and she has created this technique for a few years now, and she's been designing for Noro Yarns, Cornelia, for over 25 years. So she knows the yarn very well. So it's this she does these this pattern where you have little cutouts in the knitting, and she's created a technique that so you don't see the strands. So you're knitting along, and then you're binding off, and then you're knitting rows on either side and casting on. And if you were to do that without her technique, you'd have these strands kind of hanging on the side, but she has a way of carrying them up that's really very clever. Yeah. And she's done a lot of designs. In this particular scarf, it's kind of modular. So she'll start with the block at the bottom, and then she'll add on to it. And I think it's in 2 pieces. And then that side edge along the long edge is picked up and done separately in the tiny little squares. It's a very fun technique. It took us a while to find a way, Deborah, how you have to describe certain techniques, and it's easier said than done. I mean, you can show somebody and it's super easy, but when you have to put it down in writing, it gets tricky. And, I think we have it down to where I think it's pretty well described. I think when it's a new technique, I would say, hey, Jacob, I don't know if I ever did this, Jacob, but I'd say, can you knit this stitch the way it's written? And it's interesting that everyone will have a different idea. They'll say, I don't understand a word that it says. And then the other person says, oh yeah, it's so easy. So you never know. I mean, it's really hard to try to explain unusual techniques that everyone can understand. That's always been a challenge for me.
Well, I think it's, and there's always, and it's not just with unusual techniques. I mean, there are some times that a pattern that someone will come to me and I will think a pattern was very clear and easy for me to understand, and yet they'll say they don't understand it, and so we sit down together and we work it through. But so different techniques do they can throw us, but one stitch at a time is what I tell them.
Yes.
Well, some people, as you know, Paulette, are visual learners. and other people like to follow things from print or charts. So if you come to a yarn shop and you know you're more of a visual learner, that's the kind of questions you should ask to make it easier for Paulette to help you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll hear things like show me, as opposed to tell me.
Right.
Because that person who wants you to sit there and knit it or knit it with them, but then there's a person who wants you to read the pattern along with them, and so everybody's going to learn it differently, and so sometimes we do it all different ways until they figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so are we on one cowl 5 ways?
No, we're on brioche.
Oh,
Basic brioche.
basic brioche. Okay.
So we've got a cowl.
Where's
in Crayon. It's
yeah, right here.
rose and turquoise.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of brioche in this issue. It should be called the brioche issue.
Nora Brodsky wants to know, which yarn is that cutout scarf?
Oh, did we not tell them? Was that Crayon?
I believe it's Silk Garden. Am I correct? No, it's Ito.
Ito, right.
This is Ito. Thank you, Nora. All right, let me put this on.
All right.
Not sure how this one goes.
This is Crayon. So the slits are on the side, so they're like that. That's kind of
There we go.
Yeah. So and then so you knit it back and forth on 2 pieces for the 2 side slits, and then you join it. And if you pull the inside, it'll turn into then it's worked in the round for like the collar part of it.
Okay.
So the collar kind of will be like a big, huge. You can wear it a couple different ways. That's a nice way to wear it. It's a little bit different in the magazine, but that's.
Oh, I see how she's wearing it in there. Yeah, she's got it standing up,
shawl collar,
kind of over the shoulder.
Yeah, but you can really do it. It's like it's like I guess you have it on the.
I had it upside down.
Yeah. So the slits are at the bottom. There you go. I mean, I like the way you did it too, though. So again, these things can be either way. You know, these are.
Well, I think because I'm so short, I wanted to fold it over, and I just thought, well, the slits would make it easy to fold over at my neck so that it wasn't overpowering my face.
Right.
But no, this is nice. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Yep. So it's super easy. Nice big needles.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have the hood.
Yes.
Yes, that's on. Yes, and you can wear it as a hood, as you see there, or you can scrunch it down and just make it a cowl. Oh, or you can take your head off. There you go.
I can take it off. Let me see. These colors this is interesting.
Isn't this cool? So it's I believe this is just one color, but again, what you do is you separate the ball into the 2 different colors, so you have contrasting colors on front and back because it's a 2-color brioche. Yep. So
you can use wear it either way.
Cowl too. So in the winter when it's cold, you throw it on top of your head, and then it's nice. I think. Yeah. Love
a
it.
little hoodie.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah. And Jacob, we went through Jacob's and we went through Laura Zukaite's. So next up is the one cowl. There's one cowl, so many choices. So here we just took a rectangle, and so you knit the rectangle, and then you sew the bound off edge along the side of one edge, and you have a cowl. So super easy. And we chose 5 different Noro yarns of about the same gauge, so you can do the same cowl. And we chose 5 different rib stitches, so you can decide which yarn and which stitch you want. And again, this is a nice, easy project because you don't have to worry so much about gauge and fitting and all that. And if you want it to be bigger, you just make the rectangle longer or wider. Look at that. Doesn't that help pretty?
Do the Charlie's Angels pose.
More people, you get great quintet in there. You should start singing.
Charlie's Angels. We're almost old enough to be angels.
Yes, this is just a fun way to play with Noro yarns.
Happened to pick up the Okonoshima.
I enjoyed all the different patterns, you know, seeing it in all the different yarns. They all look so nice.
Yes.
That's Shibami. That's a really nice. I love those colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so where are we next? Or how are any questions there, Paul, from the group? Or
No, they're loving it.
they're quiet, huh?
No, they're not quiet. They're
Okay.
vocal.
We're
But
getting
they're
close.
complimenting.
Okay, so someone asked
House that sweater.
someone asked about the Starry Night.
Remember
Remember
there?
the star scarf.
Are we
So,
there?
I hope you have it.
Oh, we have it.
Okay, cool.
I
So,
have it, but we've got other things to show.
wait, do you have the other Noro thing? The other from Japan?
Right here.
Oh, I didn't know you had the garments because I
Hey,
didn't.
come on. She's the nitty gritty yarn girl.
Oh boy, how come I don't get them?
So she's the nitty gritty yarn girl.
Next time, can I get them from you?
You have to stand in line, Carla.
I just have pictures to work with. Can I call you really? Because I can ask you some questions. All right.
I'm happy. I'm happy to have you ask me some questions. I can tell. Want me to tell you a little bit about the number 23 is Hakea. This is knitted with Hanui.
Hanui. Okay, so that's one of the new yarns.
One
Yeah.
of the new yarns. Yes.
And go ahead.
Well, I just love it's got a lot of texture.
Yeah.
This pattern has lots of texture to it. And yeah, it's got some nice shaping to it. I like the little slits on the side.
Uh-huh.
And my husband's telling me to turn her around. There you go. Oops, the side slits.
That could be a man's
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, now could this be, this kind of looks like a universal sweater.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's the horizontal band in the middle, which it looks like it was set in, but you just keep knitting in you have that little zigzag pattern going on in the middle.
Yep.
At first glance, it looked like that was made first and then picked up on either side, but no, it's even easier than that. So it's just all knits and purl stitches.
Yep.
Super easy.
Carla, I have to say goodnight, and I wanted to thank you.
Oh, I know you have to leave. Yeah.
And it's been really a lot of fun to see all of them. Great issue.
Thank you, Deborah. It was so good to see your face, and I hope we'll get together sometime in person. I got to talk to you about Boston.
Good night, everyone.
Okay,
Deborah,
goodbye.
thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, she said she had to leave. So
Okay, no problem. So this is another one.
yes,
The
and that's knit side to side.
yes, Korea.
So it's knit
Donna
from
Tritz wants to know. She says, "Love the sweater. What's the pattern?"
This sweater is Hakea. Here, Paul. You want to show them the
Tag.
and this is the horizontal
that's
sweater.
horizontal. Yep, knit from side to side. And then the sleeves are just in stockinette. So that's a fun one. So the stripes go in the opposite direction.
So there are a few others. Do you want to just switch over to the end, Carla?
I know it's almost 8 o'clock. I mean 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock.
Almost 9 o'clock. Sure. So because someone did ask about the Starry Night sweater.
Yep.
So this is based on an Afghan that we did in a previous issue with the stars. We did something similar in the last issue with the heart blanket and turned it into a scarf. So we asked Catherine Mells to do this for the stars. And I think that the name Starry Night is so appropriate because they have the, I don't know if you heard about the Van Gogh experience in New York.
Yes.
And I went there with Trisha. Have you seen it yet, Jacob? It's pretty cool. It's very cool. So it's
Maybe worth the train ride down. How long is it there for?
I think until through the end of September.
Oh, well, perhaps.
It's down in the pier by near South Street Seaport, so it's nice location. So it's really fun scarf to do.
Excellent. Yeah, so that takes us to the end of the magazine. There are some other sweaters there that if we're out of time though, and so if anybody wants to see them, I will have them. Well, I have to ship them out tomorrow morning. Oh, you know what? We have a special prize tonight. So from our sharing bucket, because we Carla, I don't know if you remember, we ask our fans to share Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl.
Uh-huh.
And then every time they share, their names goes into a bucket and we share back.
Okay.
So tonight we are sharing some Noro yarn.
Great.
Okay, I have 2 balls of tabby that I'm going to pull 2 names tonight. And we're going to see who our winners are.
Wow, it's lots of names.
Okay, so our first winner is Dina Justice. Whoa!
Whoa, congratulations, Dina.
Congratulations, Dina. You've got yourself a ball of tabby.
I know she'll do that yarn justice.
I'll bet she'll do that, yarn justice. Okay, and our other winner, I see Anna Maria and Pam are sitting here going, pick me, pick me, pick me. Mary Beth Vandenberg. So Mary Beth Vandenberg, thank you so much for sharing Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. Dina, thank you for sharing Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. And Carla, Jacob, Laura, and Deborah, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I can't tell you how much we appreciate your knowledge and your sharing.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Good, Jacob. I hope to see you again too.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun.
Take care. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Stay safe. Be happy.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.